ESPN just did a deep dive on the New York Giants roster heading into the 2025 season. They pointed out their biggest strength, weakness, X factor for the upcoming year, and a non-starter that you need to know. They also revealed the starting lineup for the New York Giants, and we did this video earlier on the channel today. And I'm sure all of you are subscribed and already saw that video. If you're not, I'll give you 5 seconds right now to hit that sub button. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. A deep dive of this roster as the Giants try to bounce back after going 3-14 in the 2024 NFL season. I'm your host, Marshall Green. I don't know if I already said that. Let's dive into it, though. The Giants' biggest strength, their defensive front. Not really a shocker here. When you talk about how the Giants were put together, they spent the most resources on their defensive line. $150 million and a second-round pick on Brian Burns. $90+ million and a first-round pick on Dexter Lawrence. Number 3 overall pick in the NFL draft on Abdul Carter. And a number 5 overall pick on Kayvon Thibodeaux. This should be the biggest strength of this team. It is, but it's time to see them do it on Sundays because you don't win games in August. ESPN said this, saying the defensive front is the biggest strength. The Giants still have many major roster concerns, but they might have the league's best defensive front. It starts at edge rusher with arguably the league's most intimidating trio. Brian Burns is 7th in the NFL with 54.5 sacks since entering the league in 2019. Kayvon Thibodeaux ranks 21st with 17 sacks over the past 2 seasons. And as if that's not enough, New York spent the 3rd pick of April's draft on Abdul Carter. I almost mixed the word April and Abdul there. The Giants D-line also features one of the league's top defensive tackles and Dexter Lawrence II, second-team All-Pro in 2022 and 2023. First off, get your facts straight. Dexter Lawrence is the best in the business at defensive tackle. Your own publication, ESPN, said that. But look, no shocker here. We've beaten the drum as many times as we could beat it about how special this pass rush can be, but they have to be. Because I remember doing a show here when we talked about how Leonard Williams and Azeez Ojulari and Dexter Lawrence were supposed to be a special pass rush. Well, these guys need to do it. Burns, Lawrence, Thibodeaux, Carter, Golston. Look, this unit has to carry. And hopefully at some point during his rookie season, Darius Alexander turns into a big-time player. The 25-year-old rookie should be ready to plug and play, but I think it could take a couple of games, as it does for all rookies. But if he is who we saw the guy at Toledo looked like, if he puts that film on Sundays, that takes this D-line to another level. If the Giants want to do the things that I hope, and you hope they can do, they got to dominate on the line of scrimmage. On the other side of the ball, their biggest weakness, according to ESPN, their offensive line. In fact, I've heard this song and maybe done this dance a couple of times with the Giants. ESPN saying the Giants are set to return all 5 starters from 2024, but that might not be a good thing. Left tackle Andrew Thomas is very good, but he has missed substantial game action in recent seasons and doesn't have a ton of help. Left guard Jon Runyan, center John Michael Schmitz, right guard Greg Van Roten, and right tackle Jermaine Illuminor all posted below average to poor PFF grades and run block win rates last season, with all 3 interior linemen ranking bottom 20 in the latter stat among 92 qualified players. The draft provided minimal help as 5th-round guard Marcus Bowe was the only offensive line investment. And look, while I'm not going to push back on any of those numbers or any of the information that they put on the screen talking about the Giants O-line essentially being bad again, it's just so classic. And maybe I'm just tired of hearing about it because I'm tired of seeing it about how bad this O-line is. I don't know. Let's just go through some numbers. Last year, they ranked as the 28th best pass blocking O-line according to PFF and the 23rd best run blocking O-line. But I think there always needs to be information provided to paint the picture with the proper colors. Andrew Thomas only played 5 games, 6 games maybe last year. Saw Jon Runyan get hurt. You saw Jermaine Illuminor bounce from right tackle to left tackle. There were injuries across the offensive line. And I think by the season's end, there was only one player in the same starting position that they started the season with. And I think that tells you a lot about this O-line. When they were healthy, they were solid, though. They were middle of the pack in pass blocking offensive line through the first 5 weeks of the season. They had the 11th best sack rate, nearly a top 10 ranking, and they only allowed 3 sacks charged to the offensive line through the first 5 games of the season. Then Andrew Thomas got hurt, and we are who they thought we were, essentially. The Giants averaged, though, in weeks 2 through 6, 120.8 rushing yards per game. They were able to run the football. They were able to get downhill. Tyrone Tracy started to make a name for himself. Motor Singletary had a couple of nice games sprinkled on in between that. I don't think the Giants' offensive line is nearly as bad as everybody else, but there is good reason to think that they are still bad. Things that have to happen, though, for them to take a step. Andrew Thomas has to stay healthy. If 78 is not healthy, it does not matter. That's just kind of the boat we're riding in, and we're on that ship until it sinks. And it sank a couple of times. Hopefully it doesn't sink anymore. I think you added quality depth. You brought in 2 swing tackles and James Hudson from the Cleveland Browns and Stone Forsythe in the offseason. You went out and you added Marcus Bro. You brought back Aaron Stinney. The idea that you did nothing to the offensive line is kind of lazy, in my opinion. Can John Michael Schmitz take a step? Can he be the player we all thought he was going to be, as he was a very, very touted second-round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft? And can you get anything out of Evan Neal? I think the Giants are going to give Neal every opportunity to win a starting guard spot in the offseason, heading into training camp. Starts this Wednesday. I'd like to see Evan Neal be that starting left guard. Shout out Tyler Jones. But he's got to win the job. Maybe you move John Runyon back to right guard and Greg Van Roten as your backup interior offensive lineman at the guard and center spots. I don't know. If a lot of ifs. I get it. And as I say that, I understand why people would say the Giants O-line is bad. But if a couple things go their way, a couple balls bounce in fair territory, it's not going to be nearly as bad. You just need 78 healthy, and then we'll be all right. The Giants' X factor for 2025, according to ESPN, is the second-year, second-round pick, the safety, Tyler Nubin. This was a pick that I was pretty pumped up about, especially after I started to watch more and more tape on him last summer. There were some things I thought he did really well in his rookie year, things he can improve upon, but I understand why anyone would say he's the X factor. As ESPN wrote, despite being a rookie, Nubin led all defensive backs in run-stop win rate last season, among those with at least 50 qualifying plays. Now, he'll be paired with Javon Holland, an experienced safety who had success in Miami. If Nubin takes another step, Holland meets expectation, and cornerback Paulson Adebo succeeds in his first season in New York, you can start to see how the back end of this defense could come together. And if Nubin takes that step, and Adebo does what he's supposed to do, and Holland does what he's supposed to do, and you pair that up with the best pass rush in the NFL, this defense might be pretty damn good. But for Tyler Nubin, he has to improve in a couple of areas. And I'm not really even asking him to do anything that he already does not do. He was drafted where he was drafted. And he was looked at as a top 50 prospect in the 2024 NFL Draft because he was able to take the ball away. He was able to pick off passes. He was able to force fumbles. He didn't do that with the Giants in year one. And to be fair, nobody on the Giants defense did that. 0 interceptions. 1 forced fumble, and 1 pass breakup. He touched a football 2 times last year on defense. That is simply unacceptable. He needs to be better. The Giants need him to be better. And I'm just asking Tyler Nubin to be who he is at his core. Because in college, he was a turnover-creating machine. He found a way to get the ball back to his offense. He made plays on the football. In 55 games played, 13 interceptions, 11 pass breakups, 3 forced fumbles. Touched the football twice last year. Touched football a lot of times in college. And I get it, different game, different speed, different stage. But get back to who you are. And form one of the best safety duos in the NFL with Javon Holland right next to you. I think having Holland alongside Nubin is going to help him grow at a faster rate as well. Holland's a guy who's achieved a lot in this league already. Just got a monster contract in free agency. And no disrespect to Jason Pinnock, Holland's on another level. And I think with a more defined role for Nubin, more success could follow. And playing alongside a vet like Colin, who's been there, done that, going to get you in the right spot, going to show you what you got to do, how to watch tape, how to grow, be a pro, and it's going to help him in the long run. We're staying on the defensive side of the ball, and we're staying in the defensive backfield as well. ESPN says the non-starter to know for the Giants this year is Cordell Flott, the fourth-year, third-round pick, inside, outside corner out of LSU. ESPN wrote this. Cornerback Cordell Flott. Flott has started 10 games last season, but has been pushed to the bench because of the addition of Debo. Flott's coverage DVOA ranking ranked 60th among qualifying cornerbacks, but he got better as the season went along. Flott is looking for the opportunity to play more this season and earn a second contract somewhere as his rookie deal is about to end. Look, we've talked about it on this channel. It's kind of seeming like it's becoming a thing. Cordell Flott versus Deonte Banks. Sounds like it's going to be a position battle. I don't know how much of an opportunity Flott is actually going to get to win that job, but we saw in OTAs and minicamp that Flott was running with the first team with a Debo on the other side and Deonte Banks watching. They were alternating reps, and honestly, deservedly so. Deonte Banks was horrible last year. His effort was bad, his play was bad, and he was immature. But when you're a first-round pick, you're like a scholarship player. They're going to give you chance after chance after chance. The PFF coverage grade benefits Cordell Flott. The reception percentage, about the same. Deonte Banks gave up 6 touchdowns last year. Cordell Flott 1. I get it, not nearly targeted as much. But I like to look at when you are targeted, what is the NFL passer rating of said quarterback? When Deonte Banks was targeted, the quarterbacks had a 124.7 QB ranking, NFL quarterback ranking. Cordell Flott just a 90, and it got better and better and better all 3 years in the NFL. I want Deonte Banks to be that guy. I need Deonte Banks to be that guy. The Giants need that. But I'm not going to be so sure to just say Cordell Flott's going to be riding the pine this year. One thing that I think Flott does well is when the ball is in the air, he's able to make a play on it. He stays in tight coverage as well as tackling sometimes a little bit bad as he's an undersized player. But this is a guy that also gives himself every opportunity to get on the field because he could play on the outside and he could play in the slot. When he first came into the NFL, as I want to double check this real quick, the Giants have pretty much bounced him around throughout his NFL career. As you can see, 840 snaps on the outside corner and then 509 snaps in the slot. His rookie year, he came into the league and he was pretty much just an outside corner. 272 snaps on the boundary his rookie year to 15 his rookie year. Second year, 432 snaps in the slot compared to 45 snaps on the outside. Then he goes back to being an outside corner last year, 662 in the slot and 523 on the outside. So he could play both, and the versatility is going to help him there. But the Giants need Banks to take a step. If Flott has to be thrown out to the fire, I'm cool with that. But you need your first-round picks to hit. You need your first-round picks to be successful. If they're not, you're not going to win games in this league at a rate that you should and have the sustained long-term success. If Banks could be a player and complement a Debo, and you have Andrew Phillips, who we all like, and Nubin takes that step, and you have Holland, Nubin, Banks, Adebo, Phillips, and Cordell Flott, and you pair that up with the Giants' defensive front, this should be an elite defense. But you got to go out and do it. I can stand up here and drink red and blue Giants Kool-Aid and be optimistic and tell you how all these players are oh so good, and it doesn't matter what I say if they don't go out and do it. We believe in them. We just need them to go out and do it. It'll be a lot more fun on Sundays if they do. I'm ready for training camp. Starts this Wednesday. Can't wait to do that first video. Real Giants football. If you're ready for it, hit that thumbs up icon and take advantage of our deal of the day. Go to chatsports.com/Giants sale and get yourself a Giants Nike t-shirt. It's 50% off. They were $40. Now they're $20. Save yourself $20 and get yourself a shirt so you're ready to go for week 1. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram @MarshallGreen_. And if you could, hit that thumbs up icon on your way out.